This is episode 10 of watching a movie and reviewing it, Disturbia from 2007. Okay, let's go. This is another film I haven't watched since I was a kid, and I remember not liking it too much, just thinking it was okay, being anticlimactic, and after another rewatch, I mostly felt the same. First off, what is the pacing in this movie? It's not good nor horrible, but somewhere in between, leaning negative though, which usually sums up every category for this movie. There's so little going on in this movie that you feel overwhelmed. The story and development is so lackluster you find yourself yelling at the screen, telling the characters what to do and how to move, like it's a damn football game. Seriously, everything about this movie except Shia LaBeouf, and I guess the ending is below average. After opening with a 7 out of 10 hook, with even that in itself taking 5 minutes to get into, the story falls so repetitive and thin that I fell asleep rewatching this. Seriously, if you like the genre of thrillers, spying outside your house thinking the neighbors is up to something, try the Stepfather remake from 2009 or The Good Neighbor from 2016. Those are way better cliche-adapted horror movies than this. I'm giving the pacing a 3. Thank God it starts to get going somewhat after 45 minutes. That's not saying much because after there's an actual plot, it's still a bunch of filler and scenes with the neighborhood girl. You spend so much time wanting this movie to pick up, and when it does, the third act is about to begin, so you're sitting here waiting all this time just to be let down in a very anticlimactic way. Visuals and cinematography get a 7. Good action scene at the beginning and end. Story gets a 5. Nothing new at all. Like I said, go watch something else. And the whole having a crush on the neighbor next door is painfully uninteresting. And especially when the girl has no personality whatsoever. Like, you fall for this girl just because she's your neighbor? She seems like a nice person by the time she's spying with Ronnie and Kale, but gosh, do I not give one flying you-know-what about anything in this movie other than Mr. Turner, which brings me to the acting and casting, which gets a 5. I love David Morse in most of his roles and Shia LaBeouf, but goddamn if nobody else in this movie even tried. Like, you think they'd try to build a nice relationship with Kale and his dad before he gets killed? Nope. They try, and they never pick up on it again unless it's a convenient. What about the side plot cop character where he's the cousin of the teacher Kale punched? Is that supposed to be funny? And holy does Ronnie piss me off just as much as the girl. He has to be one of the most unrealistic characters of all time. Like that one scene where he plays dead in the closet after going to Turner's house. No real person would do that in that situation. More points to Kale in that scene for having an actual believable response to that in context. Music gets a 6, solid action horror themes there. Plot development gets a 2. Yes, a new record. I've already said bits and pieces of why plot development in this movie is so bad, so if you need another listen, restart the video. They set up poor Mr. Turner so bad that when it turns out that he is the killer, it's almost like a favor to the audience saying, thank you for sitting through this, now you get a halfway decent action scene. Seriously, he's presented so bad and so unbelievable, he's suddenly hitting on Kale's mom in the kitchen just to get screen time because the writers thought, oh shoot, we should probably have this guy in a scene or two before he's revealed as actually being a killer. They give the guy one cool earring and they do nothing with that. I mean, obvious there for some reason, do something with it. And the monologue at the end where he's revealed to be a killer, even if he is a psychopath or bipolar, what are we doing? Why do I care? Why should I believe that he's this way? Only good plot point is when the music builds and Kale looks through Ronnie's camera and sees the body in the basement. Conclusions get a 6, solid. Enjoyment is getting a 3. Oh, I'd try this again? Maybe, but not anytime soon. As you could probably tell, I don't like this movie very much, but I don't hate it. I think it's okay. I'd probably give it a lower rating, but I really don't want to rate it lower than Anaconda 2025. Good things about this movie? Well, the opening scene is somewhat interesting. The scene where Shia LaBeouf looks out his window and the whole car deal. Shia LaBeouf himself, David Morse, and the whole third act saving his mom thing basically saves it from being F tier. The discovery scene right before Turner attacks Ronnie is great stuff. And at least there's a few laughs and somewhat interesting plot of Kale being on house arrest instead of just a pervy teenager. In my journal rankings, anywhere from like a 5.8 to a 6.3 stretch is the very middle average decent film. And this kind of falls short. I know a lot of people like this movie and there's worse for the genre, but for me it's mid. I give Disturbia a 5.4 out of 10 and that's being generous. See you guys next time.